Was the taint on the male half of the One Power hidden in plain sight within the Wheel of Time teaser trailer? That does seem to be the case, and we are going to be discussing that very subject. So it's quite understandable if, including myself, you happen to miss this, as the clip in question lasts for literally the matter of seconds. It's almost a blink and you'll miss it moment. Now, the scene in question is, of course, Logain's capture moment with Moiraine, and in particular the shots where we can see one of the warders of, I believe, the fallen Corrine Nagashi trying to kill Logain. So this was first picked up by a Twitter user who's known as Brick Ninja. Now, they mentioned this on Twitter, and then obviously, as you would expect, the community erupted and started discussing what they think was going on within these couple of seconds. Some people believed that it was the Taint, while others had other theories surrounding it. So before we get into those, and then I give you my personal opinion, let's actually slow down this clip for you all to see what we're talking about. So if you look at it, you can see that as the warder moves closely towards Logain, who's been shielded by Moiraine in this shot, you can see obviously what looks to be weaves that Moiraine has used to shield him. But if we look towards the back of his, to the back of Logain, you'll notice there's this what looks to be black oil slicky sort of thing, just like kind of sitting there, and as we move frame by frame, it slowly moves up and down. This is what I believe to be the taint of the male half of the One Power. And the reason I say that is if you look at the way the books describe how the taint is, and then look at how this particular image and what I believe to be the taint kind of literally are matching, is understandable why I believe so. So let's bring up the description for what is the taint described as. So the taint is described as being like an oily slick surrounding the clear water that is side in. Now, if you are someone that was thinking, how would you go about representing that on screen for an audience to visually see? I believe what they've come up with is the perfect solution for that, and it's also something I would have personally kind of arrived at in terms of a decision about how to go about portraying that on screen. So it's quite interesting that we've kind of gone the same routes. So you've all seen it, you've all now had a good look at it. Now I want to hear from you guys. Do you believe it's the taint on the male half of the One Power, or do you believe it's one of those other theories that I'm sure you may have seen on Twitter or on Facebook or wherever else you interact with the community? So before giving my personal opinion, let's break down several different theories surrounding what this could potentially be. I've seen people say that Logain is being shielded by Moiraine, so he has no access to the One Power. So then how can, the taint be around him? But I believe, obviously from the top of my head, the taint is always an ever-present with male channelers, and so that's the way around that particular argument. Correct me if I'm wrong. But not only that, even while still being shielded, all the channelers can still sense either side in or side out. So I don't believe it's anything to do with that. But while we're still on the subject of Logain and him being shielded in these particular shots, there's one thing that I want to note and what I believe is going on. And this was from one of you guys who commented on my video, and I think it was such a cool idea that you came up with. I have to just mention it in this video as well. So I believe off the top of my head what you were saying was, in this particular shot, obviously we've got Corrine Nagashi, but also Liandrin, and you pointed out how we could probably be seeing the fact that Liandrin's broken her grip on the shield, and so Logain's been able to free himself and get hold of Saladin. And then that's when we see the shot of him, breaking free of the shield and attacking the Aes Sedai with what looks to be kind of some weaves of a wind to knock them back into the cave. And I think that was a fantastic idea you came up with, and I loved it. So yeah, I had to put that in here. I've seen this one I actually really like from Malkier Talks. It says Saidin is dark and Saidar is light. And I think that's, if I'm going to have a bit of a issue debating and saying I can move that out of the way, I believe this would be that particular statement. Especially when you consider the fact that the ancient Aes Sedai symbol of like that yin and yang of white and black was obviously from the Age of Legends, I believe off the top of my head, and that is when both there was male and female Aes Sedai. And so you could quite easily argue one was for the females and one was for the males in terms of each side of Saidin and Saidar to be represented within the creation of that Aes Sedai symbol. And so I really like that particular, idea on what we could be seeing here. And then obviously that would then be the way of them portraying that on screen, and it would explain the black oily slick that's on Logain's back. And I suppose on top of that, you could just say because obviously Saidin is tainted, they just want to represent that with having it be black or just a dark colour, just to represent that. So you've got that argument as well. But there's a few arguments there, and I'm sure there's a lot more that I can't see and can't think of where people have come up with different viewpoints on this subject. But I believe it's going to now be one of two possibilities, and I'm still leaning more towards this being the representation of the taint on Saidin. I do love that other, theory of it being like the yin and yang of the ancient Aes Sedai symbol. So for the female channelers, Saidar is going to be represented by white weaves, and then for Saidin, we're going to have dark weaves. Now that would be a bit of a clash, when you're coming with the color palette on screen. So that would be an issue if they are going that particular route. But I am still more inclined to just think it's the actual taint being shown for us, and then that would, in a sense, help them kind of kill the issue of having to explain and describe what the taint is over and over again to the viewers and to first-time readers of the book when they start watching the show, because inevitably they're going to watch the show first before reading the book, and so they'll be a bit confused if it wasn't visually portrayed on the show. But yeah, all in all, I think that was a fantastic find from Brick Ninja, one that I believe is one of the actual hardest things to spot in the trailer, because like I said, it literally is the space of 2 seconds and then it's gone. And so yeah, to find that I think was fantastic. But yeah, once again, thanks for watching. If you're new here, consider subscribing, as I'm hoping to have my whole breakdown of the trailer done sometime within the next week, depending on what other commitments come up in my normal week. But yeah, once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next video.